Okay, we're on day 3 of the training, and we're going to continue to stay in 1 Timothy chapter 4. But before we jump into that, I want to tell you a little bit about my friend Kim, and she has been a lifelong friend of mine. She's kind of the one that always has these crazy ideas and just goes for things, this innate joy of life. And she's the one that I will hear her say, trust me, trust me. And after 30 years or more, I do trust her, but man, sometimes you hear somebody say, trust me, trust me. And the reason they say it is because they're going to have to convince you to do something. So we were at a theme park years and years ago, and my friend Kim got me to do, I think it's called the Devil's Dive at Six Flags. And it basically is that harness that you get yourself into, and you get pulled up like 150 feet. And then you pull cord and you literally just free fall. And it's attached, your harness is attached to a large cable. And so it catches you at the bottom and then swings you back up and back down. And she said, trust me, it's so worth it. So I went ahead and did it, but the closer we got to being buckled in, the more fear I had. And then I didn't realize how much fear I could have. Every like ding, 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 ding foot we were being brought up was creating more and more anxiety. And I thought I should not have trusted her. I remember squeezing her arm. I was hanging on to her so tight and pleading with her, please don't pull that cord. Please don't pull that cord. And she's just giggling the whole way. And I know she's gonna pull the cord and the cord's gonna release us and I'm gonna be terrified. So that's pretty much exactly what happened. We got to the top and I was pleading with her, don't do this. And she did it and giggled the whole way. Now, sure enough, I look back on it and I actually really enjoyed it, but man, it was so hard getting me to the point where kind of joy kicked in. And I think sometimes our training and godliness can be a little bit like that. Either we have a fear about it, it's not going to do anything, or maybe it's going to do too much. It gets hard. Training's hard. We don't always see the results right away, and so it becomes like a labor. Paul's going to address that in the next segment that we're going to look at in chapter 4 of 1 Timothy. And he's going to talk about what is trustworthy. And he says this, I'm going to go back to verse 8. We finished on that last time. But it says, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. This is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. That is why we labor and strive, because we have put our hope in the living God, who is the Savior of all people, especially to those who believe. He says this is trustworthy, of all things that are trustworthy. It's the salvation of Jesus, the teachings of Jesus. And what's trustworthy is, he's saying, trust me, your training for godliness will have results, not just for the future, but current, in the present. God is a God of life, and he desires to give that to you. So yes, we labor and strive. There's going to be efforts, and some days it's going to be difficult. But our hope is in a living God. That phrase is very intentional. He's the one who breathed life in us. He is the living God. Although the powers of all of hell tried to come against him, and he defeated death. And so we put our hope into that. I mean, there isn't anything more trustworthy on this earth that you will ever encounter. He is saving us. He has the power to save all people. Now, as we train this week, I think it might be helpful. Sometimes we just get discouraged in our training. And maybe with your training partner, you just kind of call out and admit the things that are discouraging. And then go back to the promise. But wait, this is trustworthy. This word of all things on this earth is trustworthy. That God is doing something within me in this present life that he desires that I have life and have it to the full. So prayerfully go back to that. Lord, help me see this life through your eyes. Pray for God to fill your life. It's okay to admit some of the difficulties, but then go back to the promise today and encourage one another. All right. See you soon.